welcome.
Welcome to the podcast. What's up, fellas?
So
What's
everything's
going
good.
on?
Just real quick, Al. Thanks for all the warm wishes from last week. Everybody that I know really appreciate it. I think you're such a
Oh,
nice guy. I'm
yeah.
really happy that you care so much about people. It's great. I appreciate
Well, I'm going to give the same. I told Scott he's about to get this smoke today too.
it.
He
Well, I
decided he
mean,
he ain't on today, so
yeah,
he's
but
fair
so
game.
you got to give it to him. It's not his fault that the state of Tennessee doesn't know how to hire referees, but he is out there cheering on his man BJ. He's playing his first game. It's really big for him this year. It's a good time for him to go up there and see it. So,
You be nice. Go
unfortunately,
ahead,
the
be nice,
DJ's
man.
out.
Yeah, be nice. Be nice all you want.
I am nice.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that his kids didn't come in his fucking sea bag and he's not on, just like you weren't on last week. That's the problem. Is y'all forgot where y'all came from.
You're right.
You
Yeah,
love
yeah.
your wife. Oh, that's impressive. He loves his kids. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Oh God, I missed you guys last week. That was fun.
We
Yeah,
miss you too.
I laughed my ass off with some of Al's comments last week. Some of the wishes he made for you. Oh yeah, I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
I,
I mean,
I
there's a
wish
lot of
those same ones for
wishes.
myself. A lot of wishes. I wish.
Hey, shout out to Shiza Manelli. This is Sean Uhouse, Army Forward Observer. Today's his birthday. Hey, happy birthday, Sean Uhouse. Thanks for watching.
Happy
Sean
birthday,
must have
yo.
been.
Happy
Sean must have
birthday.
been. Yeah, he must have been AWOL a lot because he was early as hell today.
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
Early.
you old fuck.
There was actually somebody that popped in at like 3 o'clock today, 15:45, said I'm excited for this. So I'm not exactly if that's RG that we know or if somebody else, but sorry, Sean, somebody beat you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's Moon's
Also,
birthday, Ty. Good job.
shout out to Andrew Sharp, uh, Billy Newell, Buddy Lott. I think everybody's here to see Sean. It's pretty
My
amazing
boy
turnout.
Josh Morris. He's always on. He's on here again. What up?
Yep.
What up, little brother?
Yep.
Oh, I
Yep.
didn't see these comments. There you go. What up, fellas?
Nice.
Josh, your wife is too hot to be married to you, bro. Send her my way.
Funny. So, I mean, we might as well get into it, right? So,
Yeah.
Al, why don't you do the honors? I know that we're talking
So
to
I'm
somebody that you've known for a while.
yeah, super excited for this episode in particular. My buddy Sean is Sean Sant's going to be on our episode tonight as the guest. The dude is a true warrior in every aspect of the word. The guy is just a stud. I mean, I love him. I can't express how much I love this guy and how much he is actual family. I mean, he was the first man outside of anybody in my family to hold my daughter. And then I got to go to Colorado and see the birth of one of his 50 kids that he has. He has a bunch of them, right? Got a million kids, right? I got to hold one of his babies. Let's hope this one ain't a ginger. He has a bad habit of breeding gingers, right? He breeds little satanic children, right? He's got a couple in the house. But I love this guy, man. He's been with me through some tough times. Especially after the combat deployments and just some time we spent together in Mississippi, and then we've pretty much been family ever since. So I'm really excited to have him on here to share his story and just really talk shit with him and have a good time, just like we did back in the day. So the guy is a true warrior and a true beast, and just he's a chief's chief or a senior chief's chief. He's a just amazing for what he does for the veteran community. And what he does for his family and anybody else around him. The guy just makes everybody that meets him a better person, better men, better whatever, right? If tomorrow they were like, we need a bunch of old salty fucks who probably don't know what they're doing anymore to storm this hill, I'd be right beside him and do what he said to do, because the man definitely knows what he's doing for sure.
For sure. Well, I mean, without further ado on that, let's go ahead and bring in the man of the hour so that everybody can say hello.
What up?
There
Hey, I got through the technology part. I hit the microphone and the camera almost simultaneously. So look at that. There it goes.
You can't teach
Yeah.
old dog new tricks, bro. Look at that
Dude,
shit, Sean.
yeah, doesn't mean I don't have a drill cloth on to get through the remainder of it, bro. That's the way it is. It
Now
is.
your kids are
Sean,
worried.
in the
They're like, we're
comments,
never
we
getting
have
that iPad back.
Yeah.
in the comments, Sean, we have some people talking about you. I mean, amazing. Like Dave House says, you're one of the most genuine, solid motherfuckers you've had the pleasure to call his brother. This is amazing. These are amazing comments. I'm happy to have you here, and I'm very proud to meet you.
I'm stoked. And thank you. Like I said, kind of talking and, it's just again, like, so right there, the guy named Janar right there, he was in Iraq with me in '05. Like he's a crazy Filipino dude that spent I think 15 years between Afghan and Iraq, just absolute savage, but one of the best guys. But just kind of like that honor for them to say anything like that means a lot. You know what I mean? And Al, I'm gonna punch you in the throat because you said nice stuff, and it just it gives me all the feels. I've never heard him
talk so
nicely, and I'm like that. I don't know, man. I was like, and it makes me sick to my stomach. So, but I love you, bro. You know what I mean? So like I said, I'm just stoked to be here with you guys, and I love what you guys are doing for real. Like the minute Al told me about what was going on, I'm a junkie, and I'll go right back to those positive, those good things, because that's that community that we love. So,
no, definitely. We're excited. I'm really, really excited to have you, obviously. And I've got some, man, if we had just 10 hours, man, I got some fucking war stories. John's ass locking the fucking door and damn near killing a dude in my fucking living room during a Super Bowl party because he was being rude.
It's all about supporting you. It's all about supporting your friends. You know what I mean? That's what it is. He was going out. It was his choice how he left the house. That's the way it was.
He can either walk out or we can carry him out. And
hey, it's all good. I'm just a little dude. Like I'm 155 pounds of just sheer anger. I just live off of energy drinks and hate.
Hey,
man. That's what
50
it goes.
pounds in your 50 pounds in your nuts for sure, bro.
Dude, it's drop it. That's where it goes, man.
So obviously we want to talk a little bit about your background and kind of what you've done, right? I mean, there's a lot of people in here who know you, a lot of people that probably don't. Kind of fill us in, Sean. Kind of start from prior to you joining the world's greatest Navy, right?
Right, for sure.
How you got to where you were at?
I've been 8 up since day one, like for real. I'm 4th generation military. We're actually keep doing some digging. Somebody in my family has fought in every single war this country's been in, with the exception of the Revolution. We do know my great grandfather came straight off the boat from Sicily, and then he went into World War I at 15 years old. So, my grandmother kind of had a thing from, she always said she never met anybody who wanted to save the world more than me. You know what I mean? And she was fire engine red too. So, you're talking about where that red comes from, man. It's just, there was Irish and Sicilian getting married. Like, so if you know that history, there's ain't nobody smiled at that wedding except for the bride and groom, But no, I was just, raised in the Northeast. And I do want to throw a shout out to Jocko Willink, because little do people know, Jocko is actually from my same correct hometown. And he never admitted. He actually admitted it to me on Facebook. Not on Facebook, on Twitter. He was like, I was like, Connecticut kid's doing it. And he was like, bet. I was like, all right, there you go. Whatever. That's the end of the conversation with Jocko. But yeah, no, it's just I came from a super hardworking family. My mom had me doing hospital corners on beds when I was young. So it's like I said, I snapshotted into that. I wanted to be an F-14 pilot, but that whole being smart thing wasn't working for me at that point in time. And it just kind of went from there. I was the recipient of getting kicked out of 1 high school and 2 colleges over my tenure before the military. I enjoyed life. I still enjoy life. You know what I mean? But, I'm from a small Northwest, a small town in Northwest Connecticut that nobody even knows. Half the people in Connecticut don't even know where the hell it is. But, and we actually, it's kind of funny because I just met another guy here that just went through this project manager fundamentals class with me, and he's from Connecticut. And we both hate Connecticut, but we're super loyal to our own people. We're like, Connecticut kids, get it, And then we're like, why did we even say that? I'm like, you going back home? He's like, fuck no. I'm like, all right, sounds like me. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. And Joe G right there, shout out to touring. That's another Connecticut OG right there, man. That was racing Volkswagens and doing dumb shit, But no, it's just super lucky. And then once I got booted out of my second college, parents were like, yo, you got to go, homie. And it was kind of funny because the day that I shipped out, my academic probation letter came in from Central Connecticut State University, and my mom just kind of held it up, and she's like, it sucks to be you, shithead. And they stuffed me in the car, and that's all she wrote. There you go, for sure. No, it was cool. Like I said, I grew up in family that believes in loyalty. So that's then when I talk about, that's something I hold on to near and dear. So I get that from that core, just from where I'm from, and who raised me. My grandmother was all about family, yep. So that's a lot of why and a lot of what I took in to once I hit the service. for sure.
So you joined the military to be a gate guard, apparently, right?
Nah, bro. Like whatever, dude. Like so, both my parents. So my grandfather was a boiler technician. He was a BT1. Both my parents. My mom was a HM3. My dad was an HM1. I actually came in to be a corpsman, but allegedly they weren't taking males as corpsmen at that time. I guess they were boosting the whole population. I don't know. So they're like, hey, so you can go do this really cool thing of painting ships. And I'm like, fuck, I'm stupid. So let's get at it. And then, after that, I just, a good friend of mine, and, it's kind of tough. And it's kind of circular, it kind of comes around circle to some other stuff in my life. But there's a guy named PN1 Jerry Goins. And if you're in the Navy long enough, you know what a PN was, a personnel man. But Jerry's actually the one who, signed me up to be a super official gate guard. He's the one who pushed it through as my BMC, my boatsmate chief was like, you're going to be a fucking boatsmate. You don't get a chance. I'm like, fuck you, dude. I'm out of here, bro. And then, went to school, and, the next thing that I know is I'm sitting in the, Master at Arms A school, and then the USS Cole got hit. And then for me, that was snapshot into reality, because the ship I was going to was the first responding ship to the to the Cole.
So this is 2004 in Yemen? Is that, that
okay.
2000, that time frame. So, just hopped on an airplane way earlier than I was supposed to leave to. Ended up in Bahrain, hopped on a helicopter, got dropped off on the USS Tarawa, LHA-1, the chicken of the sea. They call her the eagle of the sea. We call her chicken of the sea. And then that's where my severe hatred and discontent for the bad guys really started. And it's kind of, again, it's like I super lucky for have so many things come, back to me. But we brought home everybody who died, as well as everybody who lived. And I actually ended up finding out from a good buddy of mine that I was stationed with in Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska. He's got relatives of one of the kids that I brought home. And, on the 20th anniversary, I end up talking to this kid's parents. And, I talk about bringing it around circle, And then after that, I was like, I really don't like doing this whole Master at Arms job. It kind of sucks. I don't do this stuff very well. My best friend was currently in prison, so doing a law enforcement job was not really where I was going. You know what I mean? So I was like, dude, I want to run around with a gun, and I like dogs a lot, and I want to go find bombs, and then I can go overseas and schwack some bad dudes. And then I got lucky and blessed enough by a guy named Jose Maldonado, who's a retired mass chief, one of my best friends and mentors on the planet. Matter of fact, when I got divorced, he was the first person I called because he'd been married like 4 times. So I was like, hey, bro, what do I do? He's like, remember your kids. I was like, well, no shit, huh? But Jose actually helped me become a dog handler. It was like, oh, you dumb shit. And then, anybody who's met me, within the Master at Arms world, genetically superior dog handlers, that's the way it is. And I sat there and scooped shit and painted parking lines until I got my dog. And then the world changed for me quick. The super secret cool people where, there's Nat. You want dog handlers right there? That's Nat. That's my girl. That's my little sis right there from Diego Garcia. But, the super secret squirrel guys were looking for dog handlers. So got to go screen with them and, ended up in Afghanistan, hanging out with the cool guys with beards and stuff. And one of them almost got me killed just doing a FAM route. He's like, don't worry about it. I'm a Navy SEAL. I know where I'm going. And then we missed all of our turns, and then missed 3 checkpoints. And they're supposed to send a QRF out for you, but that shit didn't happen at all. They sent no QRF. And then we got jacked up at the main gate coming back to Bagram. And that's when I stopped trusting Navy SEALs. You know what I mean? So it goes. When they come, his name was Johnny Ice. I'm like, get out of here, dude. Like, I'm so screwed with Johnny Ice. He's like, I heard there's a really cool whorehouse out here. I'm like, bro, it's Kabul, Afghanistan. I can't even get down with this. And he's like, just shoot anything that comes within 50 feet. I'm like, whatever, dude. He's like, I'm like, I guess I'm along for the ride. There's not like a Toyota Hilux to go, And then, that was huge. That deployment was monster.
Wait a minute, you pass up on a Haji whorehouse, bro. Sign me up. How do I find
bro,
those?
bro, the burkas
You don't know
had
what
me
you're
kind of,
getting until you
yeah,
pull.
yeah,
You don't know what
yeah,
you're getting
I know.
until you're like, woo,
Dude,
I
that
got
was
lucky,
this,
right?
that was, bro, I've been to Thailand enough times. I didn't need to relive anything else that happened in Thailand. So I'm square. The burkas did me enough damage. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to play that game. So, but I was stoked though, but I didn't end up going to that command. But what I did end up doing was coming back stateside, and within 2 weeks of being back from that deployment, I went and protected President Reagan's body. I was at the Simi Valley Library, and got to walk within 10 feet of his casket. That was a trip. That's also when I found out the real deal about Hillary Clinton, by the way. Yeah, man. Secret Service guys came in. I was like, yo, you guys are a little late to the party, aren't you? He goes, well, I'm on the ICE bitches detail. I'm like, what, bro? He's like, Hillary Rodham Clinton. I was like, yeah, so I'm done with you, homie. He's like, you're not internal affairs. I'm like, bro, I'm some stupid friggin' military kid. What kind of garbage you got to tell me? And then that was it. And then that was, segues into Iraq. In 2005, I did not want to stick around in the States very long. I had left some business kind of undone the way I saw it in Afghanistan. So I wanted to go running out to the next bad place. And I ended up in Baghdad, which is fun in 2005. Not really. And just learned a lot about myself, learned a lot about, again, like what brotherhood really is. Because those guys, the guys that all flew out with us, Zoe Alonzo, man, if you ever see a comment on mine, he always calls me half-breed. Dirty Dorian Johnson, Scotty, we call him Blue. He's old. He's friggin' in Idaho, is I don't know, like an assistant chief of police of a town of 3 people. But, and then, Trisha Schenkel and just some solid cats, but we still stay in contact to this day. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter where we are. And so then Sean, it just kind of good.
So Sean, you worked with the Army quite a bit too. I remember, right? You did
yeah. I was with the Army and the Air Force. When I retired, I hadn't seen a ship in 19 years, so I don't even know what the real Navy actually did.
Me neither.
Right. So I was like, whatever, dude. I was attached to 3ID, in Baghdad, which was interesting, and then the Army Corps of Engineer. And then I got a letter of appreciation from a 2-star admiral who used my first name in the letter of appreciation. I was like, that's how you guys get down. I'm like, yes, that's going to give me no points on the advancement. But yeah, it was like, yeah, it was a trip being around them too, because I learned a lot, had a package to go into Buds, but somewhere up in the universe said, no, you're not going. I had made rank too quick. And then they just sent me to Diego Garcia after back-to-back combat tours. They're like, go be in isolated duty for 13 months. Tell me how that one works out for you, And then ended up with the Air Force at Offutt Air Force Base. Then, screaming, thinking I was going to San Diego again. Somehow I ended up in Mississippi. It enter, me and the hero over there, man. And he'll tell you one thing, man. As close as we are, he had a thing about pushing my buttons with my boots one day, and he almost got killed. And that other person we were talking about before we got on camera almost got killed. And it was like, say something about my boots again, bro. And then, but then our other partner in crime, Bob Spar, the big German, the super baritone. Like, dude, I ain't never heard a voice that sad. Deep. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it is what it is.
Oh, and then I just came.
And then survived Mississippi and ended up in Rhode Island. After 18 years of not seeing the East Coast, and ended up at a coastal riverine unit, and a lot of 10 more. Yeah. So Buddy Lott, that's Lieutenant Commander Lott, retired, was our security officer. Love that dude. Actually, just absolute savage. He's still living in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. He's a Mississippi boy. He's a Mississippi boy through and through. You gotta love him for it. But got out to Rhode Island and really got a snapshot of what actually was wrong with me. That's where I had to live in some reality, from that point on, because it was a trip. Mississippi was really interesting, because, well, actually, I should put that, because like the big change for me was I broke my neck getting ready for a fight. Didn't just break it, I annihilated my neck. So right now I don't have a cervical spine left at all. It's all titanium, and my neck was broken and crushed for a year. And then I ended up in pain clinic. And that's where, Oxycontin, oxycodone, muscle relaxers. And, I've been a medic for a long time, so I'm a professional medical liar, and then I was like, yeah, I'm all out of them. And they were like, no, you're not. You only had it for 15 days. I'm like, shut the fuck up, give me more. And then, actually very lucky for the surgeon who, put my head back on my shoulders, literally said, hey, your neck will never break again, but your head will fall off if you do some dumb shit. And, I just decided that afternoon, when I got released, I went back to the pain clinic. They're like, hey, we're going to leave you with like 5 milligram oxys. And I was like, nah, no, you're not. I want to know what pain feels like. Because I had been overly numb by that time. Anything you do, you might as well do it to the extreme, and Ambien and that kind of stuff would get you singing Taylor Swift thinking you're gangster and shit. And you really ain't, and then got over to Virginia because I had to go to school for 4 months and found myself fiending for oxys again. This is all active duty, and I've spoken about it a lot, even during my active duty time. Found myself fiending for it, managed to get myself some, managed to take 30 days worth of pills in 7 days while I was at school. And then I was like, dude, I got to do something, bro. And then, ended up in Rhode Island at Coastal Riverine Squadron 8. And, Billy Janik, Billy hops on here. You want corpsman extraordinary, man. Billy was HMCS. But Billy was the guy that put his arm around me and was like, hey, bro, you need to talk to somebody, like, for real. He's like, you don't see what we see when you walk around here. He's like, we would love to see you smile once. And I was like, I am smiling on the inside. The way it goes, I'm always smiling on the inside, And then my buddy Mikey Zott, another corrupt Connecticut kid, Mikey was EODC that, me and Mikey, talked about earlier. We're both from Connecticut, didn't even know it. We're one town away from each other. And we sat down during Chiefs season at I think it was like, we're talking about PT for the next day. And, Mikey's he's a reformed hooligan too, one of the best. And he's the one who convinced me to dive into an intensive outpatient program for TBI and PTSD. And yeah, and then it just kind of swung on for there. I became an alumni of those programs. I almost got kicked out of my first one twice because allegedly you're not supposed to challenge the staff. You know what I mean? Like, don't
you
speak
can't.
up for people.
Not the way you.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, I'm loyal to a fault, and I'm also protective to a fault. So one of the providers there wasn't taken seriously about one of the guys talking about suicide stuff, and I didn't like it. And my buddy Mikey, who was sitting in the treatment program, just kind of looked at me. He's like, don't do it, bro. I'm like, I'm going to do it, bro. And I just smoke checked her. And then the Friday, they gave me a warning letter saying, hey, if you come at staff like that again, we're going to kick you out. And that was on a 3-day weekend. I was like, yo, how are you going to do that to a crazy person? And at that time I was on benzos, like it was the cool thing to do. Like I was on Xanax, and I was taking 4 milligrams, when I walked into that classroom. So I was zoned. And then I got in trouble for challenging staff one more time, but eventually successfully graduated that one. And they shifted me to my next crazy camp. That was a nice intensive inpatient in San Diego. There's nothing like being PTSD out of your mind and standing outside when breakout for Hell Week starts, and you can hear everything from North Island going off as they're just laying waste to all the bud students. Everybody's out there like freaking twitching and drooling on themselves, But again, like that program, I made some extreme lifelong friends out of that one too, like big ones, And then,
I will say, Sean, you've talked extensively about, the PTSD piece, but obviously, we talked about it too. You're one of the reasons that I had to go in, but I didn't have to. Well, you probably were part of the reason I had to go.
Yeah,
but,
right,
no, you were the one who kind of gave me that nudge, like, hey, bro, here's, in fact, Lieutenant Demoncada, if it wasn't for you knowing her and being like, hey, you're fucked up like I am, you need to go talk to somebody, right?
Yeah.
I went and talked to Demoncada at a golf board and, changed my life. So like you definitely, you talk about your story, but you definitely have helped a lot of people along the way. And no, no homo, but I mean, I'd give you a dry tuggy, bro, if you needed one. But
what? There you go, Tito's and hand jobs, bro. That's the way it goes, man. That's what it is.
But yeah, for sure. I mean, you definitely, you push a lot of people to get help. So you've done a lot for others. So I mean, that's impressive, bro. As a veteran, bro, it was great, because if it wasn't for you, I'd probably be divorced from April the third or fourth
time. Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go.
Who knows, bro? Third time.
I'm just gonna keep going back.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
you know what's huge though, honestly, and like I kind of towards the end of my career, like my end of tour award said aggressively trained 200 some odd people. I was like, aggressively, I just care a lot about people not getting dead. You know what I mean? And I had a hard time putting people into any jobs that was combat related because of an amazing sailor that we lost out of Guam. Out of Sean Brazos. I will say Sean's name to the heavens, because that dude changed my life with the very little interaction that we even had there. But he just made me think about being a person. And then I got to a point where I had an interaction with the current MCPON at the time, Geo, and Geo reminded me that I was a number to the Navy, in front of 134 of my peers at the Senior Enlisted Academy. And I dove deep into something, and I decided to speak to somebody about my story that took place with him. But after my interaction with him and he was gone, and to be honest with you, like, it secured my career. I was never going to put on that second star, and I was fine with that. We took we made something serious about, being chiefs. Like, fucked up internally, externally. If you don't fix it, you're part of the problem. So fuck you, pay me.
Hoorah.
That's it. There is nothing else. So I just, jumped on it. Didn't care. It was for the better of what I believed in. And, that's where I came up with the term, put the human in it. And that's where my life changed, because I started looking at, what mattered about people. And then, and I broke a huge promise to a lot of people, in July of 2018, I attempted suicide, sent the letter out. I was just lucky enough that I didn't take enough pills and woke up the next day. But it was literally the worst wake up I've ever had in my entire life. Because then the next year, you had to stand in front of people and be like, yeah, I know I lied to you. I didn't tell you I was bad. I didn't tell you the darkness was sitting in, and that was even coming back from treatment, like for real, And then after that, I was just like, I'm not hiding this stuff. I'm not hiding any of the tools that, have been provided to me. And if I can find a source or a way to get somebody to get them out of that darkness, I'm gonna run into it blazing. I don't even care. I'm getting at it, because that's what has to be there. You know what I mean? If we're not doing it ourselves, ain't nobody else doing it for us. If we're not grabbing, like, I retired. We had 650 people over 5 states. I retire and I'm responsible for myself. And granted, I have like 200 kids, but you know what I mean?
For sure, dude.
I'm like, holy shit. But like, who am I leading? That's the way it goes, So, but that's where I just kind of grabbed it and ran. And here I am today, and, kind of going from there, and got some cool stuff that we're really grinding hard on out here in Colorado Springs, which I love. The area is super clean up here. So whenever y'all want to come visit, it's beautiful over here.
My wife wants to move to Colorado Springs.
Oh, it's the best.
Sean,
It really
no,
is.
she don't.
Mountain save you.
She might run into
Listening
Sean
to
Sant
this
somewhere in a
story
grocery
has made
store.
me-
She don't want to. Yeah, for sure.
What'd you say about the grocery store, Al?
I said you don't want to move there. You might run into Sean in a grocery store. She might not want that problem. She might. I remember the some commissary stories.
I've only had one issue at a commissary. Okay, it was way in the past. Yeah, it was way in the past.
I thought we were gonna ski mask up and like kill this kid.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, you got it.
right?
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, facts. So,
well, hey, Sean, we're going to take a break here for just a second. And then when we come back, we want to talk more about some more in-depth things. But
too easy.
Just, I'm telling you, from what I've heard so far and the comments that I'm seeing here is I want to know you more, man. This is amazing. Thank you for coming. Hey, I'm going to take you down there for a second, and then we'll bring you right back in a few minutes, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, fellas, time to pay the bills.
There we go. Well, so you got the thing that he sent in for that?
Oh yeah, I got something for this. Check this out, everybody. DJ Royalty Entertainment
Get ready to groove to the electrifying sounds of DJ Royal T, the maestro of mixing who knows how to turn any event into an unforgettable dance sensation. Royalty Entertainment is here to bring you the ultimate musical experience straight from the ones and twos in your ears and through your body to activate them dancing shoes. Get ready to sweat, party, and have a good time while your DJ needs are being blazed by none other than me, DJ Royal T. I have spent years crafting together a DJ entertainment empire that promises a customized blend of musical tracks, mix and mastering, and top quality sound, all while providing a vibrant ambiance to accommodate any of your DJ needs. Royalty Entertainment Services is your premier one-stop shop for top-tier musical entertainment and is hosted by yours truly. For more information, reservations, and booking, feel free to look around the website at godjroyalty.com. I am DJ Royalty, and this has been another Royalty Entertainment production. Yeah.
All right, look at that.
Got you 6.
DJ Royalty, yeah. So, so are you ready to show your support for our heroes in style? We'll look no further than one of our incredible sponsors for today's episode, Got Your Six Culture, a veteran-owned t-shirt company that's making a powerful impact one tee at a time. First, let me tell you guys, I'm genuinely thrilled to talk about Got Your Six because not only do they create stylish and comfortable t-shirts, but they're doing something truly remarkable. When you purchase a t-shirt from these guys, you're not only getting a premium quality t-shirt, but you're also showing unwavering support for our nation's heroes and the causes that they hold dear. With every single co-branded t-shirt purchase, 25% goes towards supporting various veteran and first responder-focused initiatives. And let's talk about the designs. They're simply badass. Whether you're a proud veteran yourself, a family member, or a patriot at heart, you'll find the perfect tee that speaks to your soul, from powerful acronyms that resolute with the spirit of service to patriotic symbols that stir up a sense of national pride. Their designs are a testament to the sacrifices made by our veterans and first responders. But wait, guys, there's more. When you shop at Got Your Six Culture, you're not just supporting veterans, you're supporting American businesses too. All of the t-shirts they make are proudly designed and printed right here in the USA, ensuring top-notch quality and supporting the spirit of veteran-owned business. So let's show our appreciation for our veterans and first responders in a tangible way. Head over to gotyoursixculture.com right now, browse their amazing collection of t-shirts, and as a special treat for our podcast listeners, use the code TRIPLETHREAT at checkout and get an exclusive 15% discount on your purchase. I encourage each and every one of you to wear and your support with pride, and together let's make a difference in the lives of those who have selflessly defended our freedom. Once again, that's gotyoursixculture.com, and remember to use the code TRIPLETHREAT for a fantastic discount. Thanks for joining us on the show today, everybody, and Got Your Six Culture for being an incredible supporter of our veterans and first responders. Same flag, same oath.
Absolutely. Got Your Six makes all our shirts for us. We appreciate them very much. We're going to have to do a kick-ass video for them now.
Yep,
R&B Realty Group, yeah. This is info at rnbrealtygroup.com, 409-420-6019. This is a family, veteran-owned realty group with Scott Blake, his wife. I don't know who else works there, but I know the whole family works there. So if you're in need of a realtor, R&B Realty Group.
And we're coming up on it. In the last couple of weeks, Got Your Six Culture has had a lot of very, very huge participation towards this second annual golf scramble. We've had a lot of sponsors come in. We've got a lot of teams that are signing up. There's still room if you want to be a part of this event and help. But right there's the website at the bottom of the screen. That's where you can go check out and sign up for a spot to play in the tournament, or you could reach out to us through the podcast here if you're looking to be a sponsor, make a donation, sponsor a team. And remember, just like we've talked about for the last few weeks and since we've been on here, 100% of the proceeds from this tournament go to the Project Zero Alliance, which is going to help with veteran and first responder mental health counseling and help them get on some trips to go out and go fishing and Jeep overlanding. So it's good.
Yeah, and on the reading list, Combat Vet Don't Mean Crazy. I actually didn't read any of this last week, but I started it 2 weeks ago. Not a bad book. We'll be putting books on here for us to read and broaden our minds and learn about ourselves a little bit. And then again, the Project Zero. I think my son and I are going on this August 25th, land-based shark fishing down in Gilchrist Beach in Texas. And then they've got all kinds of stuff coming up. So Kyle, I'm sure, is going to be back on the show. We'll put the website in the comments here in a second. But if you're a veteran, that's all you need to be, is a veteran, to apply for this great Project Zero, land-based shark fishing, overlanding. What else they got? Camping trail rides, all over Texas, Colorado, everywhere. So thanks a lot, Kyle.
Yeah, and then just real quick on that one, Ty, real quick. Yeah. For those people that are in the Houston area watching, if you're looking to get into a gym to do jujitsu, or you're trying to do one of those things that's physically challenging, they also offer some help in those areas too. So the best thing to do is just check out their website and you'll see all the ways they can help you out.
Sorry, next one. Some upcoming guests we have. The 24th and 31st of August, we'll be just chopping it up with the four of us, me, Scott, Al, and Matt. And then on the 14th of September, we got Don Massey, and I'm working on someone for 7th September. Should be a pretty good guest list coming up. So, hey, good to go. Appreciate that. All right, you want to bring Sean back on real quick?
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, there we go.
There he is.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
Buddy Lott medic just want to let you know. He just said you're an awesome individual, but I also want to tell him, no, if your ammo counts were ever off, sir, it's because Sean let me come count ammo, and I'm not known for my intellect. So if your shit was off, it's on Sean, but he allowed me to count shit. Just
it's 1 to 12, right? That's how it goes, bro.
When I was in Iraq, we didn't even care. We didn't care.
Yeah.
05 in Ramadi, we didn't know where the ammo even was at. Like,
I carried plastic bags full of random explosives in my pocket. Like, I'm gonna just have a cigarette real quick. My bad.
And then Scott said, "Good job," but I want to tell Scott, you can't comment on our shit, bro. You ain't on here tonight, so keep your punk ass comments to your motherfucking self. Appreciate you, DJ.
So, Sean, moving on, I wanted to ask you a little bit about. I saw in the information that you sent over to us before coming on. I wanted to walk through, which I think will help us lead into what you're doing now, talking a little bit about your transition from service, like how you feel that went, what you feel could have gone better, and whatever you can do to help people that we have watching that are in that same arena now to kind of transition from service, like kind of take us through your journey and something that you think you could, we could help people out with that.
For sure. So I'll tell you right now, like anybody who really knew me was terrified about me retiring, just because I had made that my identity. And I was on a medical board for 2 years before they finally said, "Hey, peace out, you got to go." And a really good doctor, you know what I mean, wrote up this stuff correctly and said, "Nah, Sean, it's time to go. You're good." And then next thing you know, I'm retired. I was supposed to move to Jacksonville, Florida. That didn't happen because my wife went to Jacksonville, Florida, and realized what Jacksonville, Florida was. And that was 3 weeks before I retired. And the next thing you know, I'm on the road to Colorado Springs. Got here because my 3 oldest daughters, live in Nebraska. That's where they stayed with their mom after we separated. Haley, Nora, and Addison are the most ride or die kids on the planet. They saw a crazy dad, you know what I mean? Somebody who was just starving for some help. But, I think starting off for me, the big thing was I got lucky with the med board because my VA stuff was done. I already knew I was going to be 100% in drooling from the VA. And then I just had a little bit of battle with VuMed, which, and I'm going to plug this for Morgan Luttrell. So one of my best friends and mentors and just, guider, Matt Lenning, who's a retired SEAL. Matt put me in contact with Morgan Luttrell because he put Marcus and Morgan while they were in training. He knew them both. So Morgan was running a program called the Boot Campaign down in Texas, and Matt had Morgan call me, and Morgan's like, "Hey, listen, man, we got a mutual friend. I don't know you, but he wants to take care of you, so I'm going to give you some information." And I was like, screw the med board. I don't give a shit. And Morgan's exact words were, "Hey, bro, when the sugar turns to shit, you earn that check and you're going to need that money." And that was probably one of the most profound things where I was like, all right, I guess I'll dig my feet in the ground and I will attack the system. And I ended up in DC and ended up just didn't want to change my rate. I just wanted to be on the permanently disabled retired list so they couldn't screw with me no more, because I didn't have the wherewithal to have to tell that story over and over again. So like you said, managed to get out that way. You know, Matt saving grace for me in a lot of instances. You know, Morgan super grateful for his words, and you know, stepped out. I think my big thing is I was super lucky that I didn't work for the first 9 months. I was out of the military. I grew my hair super long. You know what I mean? Partook in some horrible crap out here called the THC community. I'll tell you right now, when you're an addict, you can abuse anything. You know, don't tell me, hey, you got older guys, you know what they say about damn gateway drugs. Well, I'll tell you, that shit out here is fucking gateway drug, man. That weed is not funny. You know what I mean? So I was like, y'all on some different shit.
I told you my edible story, bro.
Yeah. Oh. And I'll tell you, it really didn't do for me what some vets were talking about it was doing for them. It just didn't. It didn't curb anything. So I just decided, hey, I'm not doing this, and tapped on that. You know, and for me right now, I'm super lucky. I'm a year and 9 months sober off of that, so I'm really stoked about that. And then I had to find a purpose. I think that's the big thing. You know what I mean? You know, you watch all these cool things, you know, and I think, you know, I've been super lucky to come across, you know, some celebrities and cool people. You know, Matt Best, before he became super, you know, important and cool with his 5 billion followers, you know, I wrote to him about an article that I read for him on Facebook, you know, and he wrote back to me, was super sincere. So that was a motivator. And so I see these people doing good stuff and finding the next mission. So I did what I had to do there. And that's where I started jumping into volunteering where I live, and so on and so forth. I think the biggest thing, and I highly recommend this for those transitioning, whether or not you're retiring, getting out, is the community. And I think a lot of us search for what we know the best. And what we know the best is, you know, brothers and sisters that have, you know, same blood, same mud. But guess what? You gotta learn the other side of the house, because you're living with them now. You know what I mean? You don't get to run away and be on base anymore. You know, that's the way it is. You can't be like, I'm not fucking with these guys. But that really actually started to enrich my life in a totally different way. And I, you know, really lucky to have a great doctor over at the VA. I know a lot of people don't always say that in the mental health side, but she was incredible. And she put me onto this program called the Phoenix, which is a sober group. And at first I'm like, oh, I know I got to go talk to people, like fucking seriously, because I'm like, I don't want to talk to people. My wife says my face doesn't have an inside voice. I say smile, but she's like, no, you ain't smiling, serial killer. And then just ended up at the end of a hike at the incline here in Manitou Springs and ran into this guy named Dan Hugel. You know, and Dan is just one of the most incredible human beings on the planet. You know, Dan will tell his story. He got slapped with a 48-year charge, managed to get 12 years out of it, and managed to be out in 18 months because he changed his life. And, you know, no drugs, you know, took on something bigger and started helping people in the system. So he invited me to boxing. I love punchy face. So I just started, you know, teaching boxing and started to realize that, you know, my fulfillment and how I felt was from helping other people. Like, and I knew if I got high or I did anything that I couldn't go to the program and I couldn't be with these people, you know what I mean? And I didn't, you know, I'm a firm believer that maybe, hey, that one day that you show up might actually be that one day that somebody needed, or that one smile that somebody needed, you know? Because even out here, the friendships that we've made, you know, the big thing is, you know, like we talk about that community. You know, I'm right here with 10th Group over at, you know, the Green Berets that are over here, over at Fort Carson, and, you know, managed to come across a bunch of really great guys in a Special Forces Motorcycle Club. And, you know, getting to know those guys, I've been to more funerals with them for their fallen brothers since I got here than anything else. And it's, you know, it's, again, same blood, same mud, but, you know, we've kind of all taken on this path, you know, of what are we doing now? You know, I'm done with burying people. I really am. You know what I mean? And seeing the after effects of burying people, and, you know, and the other side of the house that deals with it. So basically, all right, so what do we got to do? And by the grace of God and some connections and people just kind of linking up, I've been blessed to really start with some veterans programs out here. Recovery Rebels is a great softball team. Well, we got to deal with Recovery Rebels on the veteran side. So now we're creating a space that, guess what, booze ain't the only thing you got to have, because we all know booze intensifies the dark side, gets you going there sometimes. So working really hard to raise money for them so these guys and girls can just come play softball without having to pay for anything, because that's what they love doing. Working with anybody who wants to help the community. And then there's another awesome guy I'm going to plug, and his heart comes from it is Rob is the founder of this thing called Rises Lions. And Rob kind of started connecting. He wasn't in the military, but has the friends in the family, and he cares about his community, so he's pushing. So another great guy. And then it's just, I don't know, it's kind of, it's not really a stuck point, but it's that mission. I don't want to be anybody known for anything, to be honest with you. I really don't give a shit about that. I just want to know that when I wake up in the morning that I'm doing something for somebody else, and now I'm learning how to do stuff for me, because like I said, I am a permanent resident of, recovery programs, because I'm going back to treatment again. When you've had as many head injuries as I've had over the years, you got to be honest with yourself. You're not a spring chicken anymore, even though I'd like to think I am. But, so I'm going back to treatment. I'm making that decision, because I got to be better for my kids. I got to be better for my wife. I got to be better for the people that I'm around, because I love helping people. So you got to drive on, and the only way you're going to get somebody else to do it is if you man the fuck up and do it yourself, plain and simple, and that's the way I hope we can just keep driving out here, because there's some great opportunities. There really are. And, in this super challenging time that our country's going through right now, and, our veteran population, I am a huge believer that if we can come out of this darkness with, getting over the substance abuse and getting over the suicide and getting over all these taglines, you know what I mean? Like that book said, doesn't mean you're crazy. If we can get over all these taglines, then guess what? We got an opportunity to help the next generation that really doesn't have a clue what they're going through. We managed to survive 20 years of complete unknown, and now if, we can change our country, we can help our country, we can help our brothers and sisters who are coming out. We can make life better for our kids, and we can do people proud. We just got to find our way out of the smoke. But if you ain't got somebody else who's going to grab you by the short hairs and tell you to shut the fuck up and get at it. Favorite movie one of my most favorite movies on the planet is Goodfellas. And there's one scene with Ray Liotta. He's talking about Sonny going out and collecting, your house is on fire, fuck you, pay me. Well, that's what life says to you. And I did tattoo fuck you, pay me across my shoulders to remind me that, guess what? Life's going to cash in on you. You got to pay. So how you pay is what matters the most. So you might as well pay, with positivity and just getting at it that way. And, just running to ground, everything. And, one last person really to hit up that is been a big factor is my buddy Manny. Manny did some difficult time. He's a veteran. He spent some time in prison, and his big thing now is okay, what can we do for our vets that got caught up in the system? Guess what? We're super institutionalized coming out of the military. Imagine being institutionalized again, and then come back second shot after doing your time. We got to help them too. So there's just so many awesome dynamics to get at, and some awesome people that I've been blessed to meet out here, and just keep going at it,
Well, are there any organizations that you want to highlight that you work with that people can maybe help with, they can contribute to, or if people are in the Colorado area, they can go help, or is there anybody you want to
yeah, a lot that's going on, like the facilities. Mount Carmel out here does a great job for the vet services. You know what I mean? We're working super hard with the VA to increase, other programs. Like I said, I was pushing harder with the Phoenix to get on, really getting a veterans representative, because there's the vets that come in, and we need to help them on their transition. And some good organizations, I've been part of the motorcycle club community for a long time. And one of the big ones is being involved in the Vets for Vets program out here, the veterans program, that it's solely built on taking care of veterans. You know, like if a vet needs money because they're going to lose their house, guess what you're going to do? You know, they coughed up, you know, like $7,000 for a dude so they didn't lose their house. Like that's the kind of stuff, you know, to be involved in and going from there. And then, you know, it's the smaller programs, like that's the big thing that matter the most, because they're the most friendly. They're the ones that, you know, and I'm not bagging on any major organizations, but they're corporatized. So find the people that aren't looking for that snapshot, aren't looking for that funding. You know, everybody's got to do fundraisers so you can keep your programs going. But, you know, even out here, anywhere else, you gotta do a little bit of digging, or you got to do a little bit of promoting to go and work from there.
Yeah. So we had a question for you, Sean, from one of our guys, Shiza Manelli over here. He wants to know, are you a member of the VFW up there? Do you work with them at all?
Yeah. So you know, that's one of the big things for the Vets for Vets program. You know, you got the Combat Veterans Association, Motorcycle Association, you got the VFW riders, you got the Patriot Guard riders, and then you have the other veterans motorcycle clubs that are in here. I'm actually still attached to the VFW out in Rhode Island. I know I can, you know, change it and, you know, and shoot over to out here. I just, to be honest with you, with my 4 youngest kids and working at the university, being on 2 quick reaction teams for wildland fire out here, and then my regular job, like if I could split myself into 16ths, I'd probably go over to the VFW and hang out. But I'm learning how to break it down, you know, like, and go from there.
For sure. Well, I mean, it's exciting and interesting to hear all the things that you're into, because I find that a lot of us find a lot of things to get involved in when we get out, to stay busy. What's really crazy though is we make ourselves work harder out than we ever did when we were in, because we still feel like we need to be busy. And it makes me sit back and think sometimes and go, was I really ever that busy?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Feel that busy, right? You know?
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. You know, and I think like that's a big thing, like one of the big transition things. And I ask for everybody to kind of take this into consideration. You know, I was super lucky to get into a program called the Special Operations Transition Foundation. Don't ask me how I got into it. I got in there as an enabler. I was the first Navy guy in there and was trying to help bridge the gaps. But, you know, I call it a knuckle dragger refinement foundation. You know, and they just, you know, they taught you how to come back to reality. But, you know, my first and only job that I've had out here has been with the utilities, and it didn't work out exactly the way it was supposed to. But now I'm the co-chair for the Veterans Resource Group for the whole organization, you know. But like you said, it's like, is the time that you're putting in valuable and worthwhile? Are you going home and going to bed and going like, holy shit, that's a 16-hour day. But what did I do? You know, I'm telling you, I was an acting command senior chief. And you tell me I did a lot of shit over the day. I was like, I don't think so. Whatever, dude. You know what I mean? And now I'm like, oh shit, I got to report into somebody. And I don't mind being a worker bee right now. I actually kind of like it. You know, I really do. But instantaneously, you know, the value in what you do, you know, and I've had some cool opportunities. It's kind of like, and I know I sent it to Al, and I'll hit it up because it's actually allowed me to have a different kind of voice out here. I was super lucky to be in a mini doc series out here for Snoo Sleep, for a mattress company. I know, and it happened to come through mutual friends, and it got me to be able to highlight, you know, my career and my life. But amazingly enough, like 2 years later now, it's like somebody was watching baseball the other day on local TV, and some stuff that I'd been in, they were like, yo, I saw you. I was like, wow, that's cool. But it still allows me a platform to talk about the veteran stuff, you know, and go from there. So that was worthwhile. You know, it really was. And then I was in a really cheesy car friggin' garage commercial. It was so stupid. It was fun though.
So Sean, what's next? What's next for you, bro?
Really right now, is keep driving. Like my big thing now is, going to treatment again, and learning more about the Veterans Resource Group that's actually at the University of Colorado Springs, University of Colorado Springs, where I coach at, because that's actually where I'm going to treatment. And then just learning how to be a better father and a better husband, because I don't have to put my head down and run through a wall anymore. It's not like that, and it's like, I believe, God's got a way of keeping you in check. Because every once in a while I'll get a Facebook message from somebody I thought hated my guts while I was in the service. I thought I was going to get a death threat. I was like, oh shit, they're emailing me. So fucked right now. They're like, I know where you are. I was like, dude. But it was a snapshot going like, hey, you were a complete dick, but thank you. Yep. Well, now I don't have to be that anymore. I can be me. You know what I mean? And just keep driving. And, working with the athletes that I have at the university is huge, because I'm getting to do what we did before and shape lives, or at least corrupt them enough to make some better choices. Yeah. And just kind of just digging into my community. That's what I want the most. Cause like I'll be here for 4 years in November, and I was like, oh shit, it's time to PCS. I'm like, oh shit, I get to stay in my own house. So now I do have a community. So now it's being in that community, being part of my community.
That's
drive on like that.
That's a funny analogy. You're coming up on 4 years and you're like, oh, like I think we've moved 4 times in Houston because it's always like,
yeah,
we gotta go. Like it's time.
Straight anxiety.
That's because Matt's running from bill collectors. He owes people money on rent and shit. Probably he's like, pack your shit. They're coming to throw us out. Probably.
I use your kids' socials for credit. So
that's
there you go. Hey, dude, tax relief, bro. Do what you gotta do, bro. You know what I mean?
Hey, Sean, I know you're going inpatient, bro. Tell Crystal if she needs a babysitter, bro.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I know, dude. Yeah, dude. Get it. Hey, you can take on the savages. And yes, my youngest daughter, Sabella, is getting her red hair is popping out. And my oldest son, Wyatt, he is his redhead. He's not just redheaded. He lives that life.
He does.
He's about that life. He's on fire. And then, my 5-year-old Salem, he's the undercover ginger. He's a madman, and right here. So Kelsey Hume right here, who's on here, is my wife's other half. And she's talking about that awareness stuff. Her husband was in the Army for a little bit, had really bad back problems. But, that's the one thing is like, she hit it correctly, the awareness, talking about it. It sucks looking at somebody and going, yeah, guess what, bro? I failed at killing myself. I suck at this game. I was like, I'm just lucky that I sucked at that game. I didn't have a championship belt. But getting up there and having that hard conversation, going like, hey, bro, I know the booze makes you feel better, but guess what feels even better is when you can wake up and you can walk the next morning and you don't have to friggin' smash another drink, or you don't have to wonder what's going on or climb a building and do some dumb shit. It's just having that conversation. Right? Yeah, it's having that conversation. Like, don't be afraid of it. It sucks because then you expect people to look at you the wrong way, but you have no clue what somebody else is going through. They may not ever say it to you, but if you stand up and you say that and you come through, somebody else is like, all right, man, one more step. That's what it is. It's always one more step. That's it. That's all we ever did in the military. Every deployment was just one more minute, one more meal, one more day, and here I am at the finish line. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I re-enlisted. You know what I mean? And then go from there. We're just working on one giant re-enlistment right now. Yep. And it's just saying, hey, it's being moto. It's being ate up about being healthy. It's being ate up about saying I'm all jacked up, but I know how to get through this now, or I at least know the people who have some tools to help me out. And guess what? Once you open Pandora's box, it does suck, but it's much better to get that shit out of your head. Because it crowded space. You ain't got nothing for any other, great memories. So just get at it. And don't be afraid to call somebody out if you think they're jacked up either. Snatch them up. Let them hate you. I don't give a shit. Let them be mad at you. Yo, come here, dude. You are off the sauce, homie. We're going to get you some help. And it's fun. Maybe you get to punch them in the mouth and tell them to shut the fuck up. It's fun to punch people, but hey, at least maybe, his fat lip or dotted eye will let him be alive tomorrow morning, or let her be alive tomorrow morning, for sure.
Yep. Speaking of some of the things that you've done, when I was doing my research on you, I noticed, and I think in that commercial, you're meditating. So how is meditating and maybe yoga nidra or some of those things, how have those tools helped you? Because I deployed 7 times. I use those a lot. Hearing your story kind of reminds me, of being downrange so many times myself. But so how has yoga nidra and meditation helped? It is a saving grace, honestly. Like the breathing portion for me specifically, I think is the most, because when I can, and I'm actually, people have a lot of trouble getting into meditation. I can go away quickly. I managed to find that center
And once I get my breathing rhythm going, and it's so huge to us that my 8-year-old son does it with me all the time. He comes in and breathes and he does that. And doing the yoga, like that's enormous too. Again, my cervical spine, replaced. I've had 5 knee surgeries. I have half a bicep in my right arm. I found out I actually broke my pelvis in 3 places. Never knew that, thanks to the Navy. And just that myriad of other injuries. But the yoga and the breathing, finding a center in that chaos, we got an incredible dude out here, retired Green Beret, Tulam. If you haven't ever watched anything on Tulam, the one thing he is about is his warrior spirit, bringing that in, centering that breathing and finding that purpose internally. Because when you have that fire burning in there with that meditation and that yoga, and your body doesn't ache so bad, because the achiness is what sucks. Like, dude, I don't want to move again. 46 feels like 76 right now. But the meditation, and it helps me see things more clearly. Where normally I could blow something way out of proportion, I now can settle into my breathing. And I only use 2 different breathing techniques. I use box breathing, the 4x4x4, and 4, I think there's one more 4. I don't even remember how many boxes of 4, lines of boxes got. And then a 5x8, which is 5 seconds in, 8 seconds out. And then I get so far into the breathing with it that I end up holding my breath. I think my time that I did was 30 seconds in, and I was a little bit about 80 seconds out of my breath, but I was able to find that center and relax into it.
80 seconds out?
80 seconds out,
brother. That takes some serious concentration.
And it's just getting into it.
Do box breathing, so
dude, so
he's
great.
A swimmer, yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
I actually
really
worked with Lone Survivor, and there was a yogi named Jason Lee, and he taught me all about the breathing, the yoga nidra. I still listen to his yoga nidra. So.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Like, it's amazing what it does for you. Like, honestly, like, and especially like panic attacks. I had a super bad one. Looked like I was in a fishbowl in a grocery store. And I didn't have my sunglasses on, which they're not just for me to avoid people. They're actually for my brain injury stuff. But I went in there. I didn't have my glasses on. I had some music on that a little overrowed me. I was missing the military, wanted to go fight some bad guys. And the next thing I know, I'm in full on panic attack and hiding between the chicken wings and the cheese in tears in the middle of a grocery store, trying to call my wife, who couldn't hear me because she was on a mountain. And I was just sitting there talking shit to myself, like, get up, bitch. And I couldn't do it until I centered and I started breathing. And that was it. Literally, it gave me enough to stand up and walk to the register and trying to get the tears out of my eyes before I went, and then get there, and just go. But that breathing is the only reason why I got out. And then I got into the car and I was out there for about 45 minutes trembling, but rebreathing. But, right. It's there. It's there for a purpose. People talk about it for a purpose. Breathe. When you get mad, you hold your breath. Then you get brain dumb. I
do yoga too. I do it's called naked goat yoga.
And that's the kind of I got enough nightmares, and I appreciate you giving me more shit to talk to my counselor about on Monday, but fuck you, bro. Like, come on, dude. Leave that shit somewhere else, buddy.
I do it on my back, and I
dude, me. I just vomited twice in my mouth. That's the way it goes.
It centers me real good.
It is, yeah, I get it does for sure. No, and like,
so
honestly,
stories. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
No, so, before you say that, and I'm going to say this for a purpose. So I went out to every person that I know to be like, hey, yo, you got to hop on. It's not just because I'm on this one. I wanted people to continue to share this out, but I put you guys out because I like what you're doing. And I'm going to plug you guys right now. So anybody who's watching, if you're not tuning in on this shit, whether or not it's a laugh and jokes or it's a guest or hearing other people talk, the hearing other people talk is what grounds it. And you guys doing this matters. Like, so for you guys, I salute you guys for doing the damn thing. I really do, because this ain't easy, and you don't really know what you're going to get with some people some days. I just happen to be doing good today. Like, I took my Adderall and I was like, I can concentrate, but no. And I got to say, all respect, you guys got a lifelong fan, as long as you guys are going. And I hope to meet up with you guys in the future, because you guys are just awesome. And I appreciate what you're doing. Just don't stop that shit. Just keep that shit rolling.
You'll probably be a lifelong guest too, bro. Cause I know you've got it. And when I talked to Ty, I was like, this motherfucker's got some he's probably got 12 100 hours of shit he could talk to us and reach out to other veterans and just really, a platform that he could really help. So I was like, he's definitely going to have to do more than one because this motherfucker's got some shit.
Yeah.
Not just herpes.
That's what I love.
Not just gonorrhea.
Not
You
just
got some
herpes.
shit, you know?
I love the fact that people that were such hard chargers, there's always a stigma to be able to talk about that stuff, but it's good that, someone that's gone through as much as you have has come through it, and now you want to talk about it. So many people have some of the same problems that I've had, that you've had, that Al or Matt or Scott have had, but they don't want to talk about it. They just keep that shit pent up, and it ends up, like you said, it makes you a terrible father, makes you a terrible husband, terrible friend, so I applaud you for getting all the help and continuing to do that.
He's a sounding board. I mean, it's funny, when I was going inpatient, I actually pushed it off and I was like, fuck it, I ain't going. I remember talking to Sean, he'd be like, are you a fucking idiot? Like, you're fucking going. Like, you need to go. And I was like, fuck it out. It could wait till Monday. He was like, no, it can't. So I ended up going, and then just, over the years, if I have an issue, I can call Sean, or I can call you, I can call Matt. And I pick the phone up and call somebody and say, hey, it's been a bad, I'll text Sean late at night, I'm like, bro, it's a fucking bad day. And he's like, he's on the fucking phone. He's, what's up? Let's fucking chop it up and let's get through these issues. And that's the type of people you want in your corner, right? It's easy to say, oh, this guy was my fucking buddy, but having a real brother and a real friend and a real family member who is there. If Sean called me tomorrow, I'd be in the car on the way. I can't afford plane tickets. I got too many child support checks, but I'd be in a fucking car ride on the way to Colorado, whatever we need to do. So, sure. I mean, that's just what what I think would be really good. And I hope to one day kind of get people to kind of change their view. All these challenges, these things that hurt, instead of looking at them, things that are crippling, look at them as gifts. Like, that's what I've done. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to sit here as an oh, poor me shit anymore. Not victim. I'm not playing the victim. I'm just looking at it. Okay, so guess what? This happened to me for a reason. So maybe I can relate with somebody else. It's a gift. You know what I mean? That's something that was provided to me to do something for somebody else. And, it sucks. Like, there's times in life they just fucking suck. But guess what? Take those gifts, that pain, that agony that you survived through, and, give it to somebody, give it away, give it away in the way of helping people and getting somebody else to understand that what they have going on might help somebody else. Because we've always given all our whole lives in the military. Now give this way. Well, the same.
And ultimately, all those things that you do are going to help yourself as well.
Yeah,
so I tell some of my friends sometimes, I'm known as probably in the VFW and whatnot. I'm kind of abrasive too, but it's crazy that a lot of those things that you do for others, selfishly, I say it helps me too. Like, the things that I do for other people, selfishly, it makes me feel better.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's funny, the same exuberance, like that word, I'm learning, right?
Yeah.
But the same,
sound that one out.
He was finding for the right moment to use that.
Hey, I Googled that shit before this show.
Exuberance.
But the same effort we put into kicking indoors, the same effort we put into going on patrols or doing whatever the fuck we did, right, is the same effort. You learn later that's the effort you need to put in with your family. That's the effort you need to put in with your children. That's the effort you need to put in with your veteran brothers and sisters. Because, like, Sean touched, that earlier, that sense of purpose. I think everybody has been down where what am I doing? What do I do now? Who is Sean Sant? Who is Al Hero now? Right. So, having a community and somebody you can reach out to, and being able to put that same effort and shit you put into your active duty time, when you put it into your civilian life now and the new chapter, if you go at it as hard as you did in the military, you would be surprised on the relationships and the growth within others that are around you, whether it's your kids, your wife, or somebody else that you ran into at a grocery store, right? You put that effort in. I was told by a guy named Chris Rudolph, E equals R, right? Effort equals results. And it's a fact. I mean, if you can put into life effort, you'll get the results, right? Or somebody else may benefit from the results, right? So, yeah, absolutely, brother.
For sure.
You'll find that motto. It'll show up. Show up. You know what I mean? Not everybody's got there's a lot of influencers out there that are like, fuck it, I'm just going to run through everything until I die. Well, that's not how everybody's made. But that one step that one step is what matters again. You know what I mean? Find that one step, you know, and one guy on there that just popped up, my good friend Shannon Book, you know, Shannon's an FMF corpsman, you know, fucking motherfucker. And when I met him, he was,
Pecker,
you know,
Pecker checker. Hey, I got this bump, Doc. I got this bump.
And he's that guy, you know. And when I met Shannon, he was a QM3, who was coming back in, and all he wanted to do was, you know, go over to the recon side. But guess what? The war kicked off, and he's like, I'm not doing recon. I'm going out with the boys. And that's what he's believed in the whole time, was going out with the boys, taking care of the people. Even to today, you know, his music, you know, actually almost got us into a brawl in Jamaica. You know what I mean? Because he told one of the locals that his mom worked on the docks, and apparently that's saying she was prostituting because somebody else made a joke like that. But, you know, but what he puts into his music right now is a healing thing for him. But he has never stopped being Devil Doc. He's not stopped that. That's his core. That's who he is, you know, and going from there. He's ugly as fuck, but you know, that's my dude right there. You know, that's my dude.
I see his. Yeah. I'd hit it on a long.
Yeah. He's a crazy man. So
6 months in, he looks good to me.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I think that you make a good point when you put as much effort into things as you do when you come out. The biggest thing that I found is you can tell real quick in the outside of the military if somebody's not genuine in what they're trying to do to help you, right? And so what we've tried to do here is just that same thing: bring you on, let you talk, let anybody talk. We can have people talk about what's important to them, because just you said it perfectly earlier, Sean, when you said, just come on here, talk about the stuff. It's not about me, but things that you said today, somebody out there could have heard it, or somebody in the future will see it. And that is just like because I showed up today, that person has an opportunity. And so that's what we're looking for. We just appreciate you sharing your story, telling stories, and just telling us what you're all about. I mean, again, you're going to be somebody we have to have on multiple times, because I want to hear the stories next. Right.
Yeah.
But it was amazing to see the journey that you're on and see where you're going. And it's going nowhere but up, for sure.
No, I appreciate it. You know, again, and it's like, I'm just a dumb Irish kid. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way it is. But I've
seen you naked. You're Italian from the waist down.
And there I was.
You're Italian from the waist down, bro. You know what I mean?
All you got to do is just dribble down the side. That's how I got kids. But you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know, but thank you guys very much for just letting me talk. You know, I love the stories too. They're so much fun. They really are. Yeah. You know, because that's how you build that. That's how you build those bonds after the time, you know. And people, you get on here, write those messages too on those comments down there. You hear something that hits you up, comment, throw it out there. Somebody else sees that too. You guys are just as important as anybody else talking up here, because something you respond with based off of something you heard could be that tagline for somebody.
Yep.
You know, it's just super rad. You guys are fucking solid. You really are. Dig it. Big time.
Love you, brother.
Love you, bro. For sure.
Definitely.
Well, so do we?
Put him on the hot seat, bro.
Do we put him in the hot seat?
Oh yeah, this motherfucker knows some shit, so we're gonna put him in the hot seat, though.
So then, Sean, hot seat.
Yeah.
We put everybody in the hot seat every week. So
right.
Since Scott's not here, I get to choose the hot seat this week.
Fuck
so lucky
Scott.
Me, right?
Yeah.
So what we want you to go over right now is we do a top 5 with everybody. Okay. Mm-hmm. We want your top 5 boy bands.
Oh shit. Jodeci.
Okay, there we go.
Baby.
Jodeci. Yeah, right. Yeah. Jodeci.
He made all of his 25 kids off some Jodeci.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so for real. Yeah, Jodeci. Come on, New Kids on the Block are as corny can be, but that was my time frame. So I'm gonna kind of shift you a little bit on the boy bands, because they did have some big ass hair, so they were a little soft, a little weak. But I was a huge Skid Row fan, so you know, I'm sure Sebastian Bach could have gone and done some boy band shit too. You know what I mean? K12. I know.
He did some opera later in his career.
Yeah, he did. You know, and another band called K12. I was all about that East Coast, like trying to grind on you, friggin' boy band shit. Like I was a prowler when I was little. When I was like, Boys to Men. Like, dude, that's the music that got you what you needed to be.
Fellas.
Dude, all day long. Never trust a big button and smile. I told my son that the other day. My wife was like, "Really, bro?" I was like, "Hey, it is what it is." You know.
You gotta learn early. You gotta learn.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, but that's where I'm at with that. But the big hair bands, you can't forget that, man. You can't.
Yeah, that's another top 5 all on its own.
Oh, for sure, through and through,
Yeah.
for sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on. Like we said, is there anything that you'd like to, last words to give people, things that you would like them to check out? Is there anything that you're doing that people can come see or be a part of? I know that you talked about athletes a lot. So
Yeah.
I know you coach some soccer. You got some games coming up. Is there any way that, anything people can do to help you out? Anything you're doing? Last time to share out. Like, just go to your local veterans organizations. Like that's the biggest thing. You know what I mean? If you're out here, if you're gonna find me, it's gonna be find me coaching, because that gives me purpose with my kids. Like coaching Punchy Face, we have so much fun with that. But go to those local veterans associations. Drag somebody to something else. Go. It's really like that. Just those organizations are there for you. You know what I mean? They're there for a purpose. Stop saying, "Oh, I don't need that shit." Because anybody who just left and forgot to do the PACT Act, you just missed an opportunity of a lifetime. You know what I mean? Figure out what's going on with the VA. Figure out these things. Find these organizations. Semper Fi Fund is the only reason why I have these glasses. And they yell at me that I don't use them enough. Those organizations, go out there, and if you don't necessarily need it, become a part of it, a supporter of it, and get it out there so somebody else does. Because that's the only way anybody's going to do it. And so find those organizations, be a part of them if you don't need it. If you do need it, stop being a hard ass and take what they got, because a lot of people donate their time and money to take care of you. And just be a good person in a world full of shitheads. Just be a good person. It's fucking what matters, for real. There you go. Well said. Well said.
Fuck yeah.
Well, anything, Al? Anything to close out on?
No, I love this motherfucker, bro. I could do this all night with him, man. I mean, fuck. I can't wait to the next Colorado trip. I should be up that way soon, bro. So we know we're gonna link up for sure.
Oh hell yeah, for sure.
Ty?
Love you, brother.
Love you, bro.
No, I'm good. After all the deployments, hearing some of the things that Sean is saying is a lot of the things that Matt and I try to do here in Houston. So on the page, with the triple threat vet platoon, if you're needing something, message us. I guarantee you, between myself, Matt, Al in Pensacola, and Scott Blake, and then now Sean Sant out in Colorado Springs, we will find an asset for you. It's the same mentality we had when I was with Lone Survivor. We would throw 150 freaking tools at a veteran to help them with their PTSD, and if one of them worked, that was gold. But we would throw everything that we had at them. It's the same thing here. That's why we do this. We want to talk to people. We want to hear their stories, and we want to point them in the right direction to be able to get help if they need it. Or if they're the ones giving help, we want it to get out there so people can get help. Man, I feel like I know you. I'm definitely coming out to Colorado. We're going to have to make this a trip, and thank you so much for coming
Kyle pay for it, guys.
Thanks, Ty. I appreciate it. Thanks.
We're going to go on an overlanding trip with Project.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, for sure. For sure. Thanks again, boys. I appreciate it.
I don't ride in Jeeps, though. I have nuts. So.
Well, then you can watch while everybody else has fun. You're just kick some rocks in the corner.
I'll hang out with your beautiful wife, you son of a bitch.
All right, for our guest Sean Sant, for Matt Johnson, for Al Hero, and for our buddy Scott Blake that couldn't be here this weekend, we are the Triple Threat Vet Podcast. Thanks so much, and we will talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a great day.